He is not just a hero, he is hope incarnate. When Clark Kent's faith in humanity is tested, he must become the legend he was born to be. The battle isn't just to save the world, it's to save its soul. Get ready to relive the adventure as we recap the story of action and sci-fi film today. Superman, production year 2025. The movie starts off by telling us that a few hundred years back, people first discovered metahumans, and that basically kicked off a whole new era filled with what felt like gods and monsters. Then we jump to 30 years ago, when Jonathan and Martha Kent came across this little baby from another planet. They named him Clark and raised him as their own. Fast forward to 3 years ago and Clark became Superman, the most powerful metahuman out there, and a real hero to everyone in Metropolis. Just 3 hours prior to the current moment, Superman fought another metahuman who called himself the Hammer of Bouravian. Superman lost this fight, and for the last 3 minutes, he has been lying injured in the Arctic. His condition was so dire that he couldn't even walk, breathing heavily and covered in blood. He let out a whistle, and his dog, Krypto, came. Krypto, upon seeing Superman lying down, began to play and climbed on top of him, which annoyed Superman greatly. "Please take me home," Superman pleaded. After a while, Krypto seemed to understand. The dog took Superman's red cape in his mouth and began to drag him back to his home, a place called Solitaire, which is entirely surrounded by snow. The door opened automatically as Superman approached. Inside, his many robots laid him down and began to heal him. During this time, a message arrived from Superman's real parents on another planet. The message, sent from their home planet of Krypton, was partially corrupted. His parents had said that he was sent to Earth to protect humans, but Superman couldn't fully understand the message due to the corruption. The robots exposed him to sunlight, the source of his power, and he quickly recovered. He told his robots that he had to go back and fight to save the people of Metropolis, so he flew back to the city. There, the same metahuman Hammer was destroying Metropolis. It was revealed that this metahuman was actually Ultraman. At this point, we see that Lex Luthor, Superman's greatest enemy, had created and was controlling Ultraman and causing all this destruction. Superman arrived and began a dangerous, prolonged fight with Ultraman. Ultraman overpowered him, throwing him to the ground with a single punch. Superman's condition worsened, and he was defeated once more. However, a local man came and saved him. Luthor then sent another humanoid girl named Engineer to the Arctic. She informed him that Superman's house was covered in snow. Luthor told her not to worry and to come back. Luthor and his friend, along with his team, were overjoyed at having defeated Superman again. They called Ultraman back, who came to their office through a portal to meet Luthor. News of Superman's heroism for saving so many lives was being praised in the newspapers. Meanwhile, Superman maintained his secret identity as Clark, a reporter for a news channel. He went to his office and also took a call from his adoptive parents. In the office, his friend Jimmy and Lois were there. Both Superman and Lois had a mutual affection. A Bouravian general, the president of Jarhanpur, was unhappy and angry at Superman, asking why he interfered in their conflicts with Boravia. At a meeting with some government officials, Luthor, a board member, told them he had created Ultraman and the humanoid girl Engineer, who could take anyone's form. He also revealed that he had designed a team called Planet Bars for defense. "We just have to do one thing. We have to bring Superman down because he is of no use," he told them. Board members said they would consider it. One night, Lois went home and found someone inside. It was Clark. He said he had come to cook for her. Lois was very happy but told him she needed to interview Superman. Clark replied, "You interview me. I'll give you an interview as Superman and answer all your questions." Lois began the interview, asking about the war between Boravia and Jarhanpur. A small argument arose and Clark left the interview and the apartment abruptly. Luthor and his ship arrived in the Arctic where Superman's house, Solitaire, was located. The house, which only opens for Superman, opened automatically for Luthor. Superman's robots, sensing an unknown intruder, attacked Luthor, but he had Engineer and Ultraman with him. The two began to damage and destroy all the robots. Engineer, now with a mind of her own, saw Superman's supercomputer. Luthor instructed her to extract anything useful from it. Engineer found a corrupted message from Superman's parents. She said she could fix it and did so, keeping the message for herself. Superman's dog, Krypto, tried to stop them but was taken away with them. Meanwhile, some of Luthor's people released a small monster in the city. By morning, it had grown huge and began attacking people. Superman arrived and first saved a dog before fighting the monster himself, but it was too strong. 3 members of the Justice Gang, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Terrific came to help. Terrific, using his small robots, threw bombs into the monster, causing it to explode and die. The Justice Gang received great praise, but then headlines about Superman also began to appear. Luthor went on TV, claiming that Superman was an alien who had come from another planet. Played a message from Superman's parents, but it was manipulated to say, "The people of that planet are very innocent and naive, conquer them." Superman's reputation began to be ruined, and people started to fear him. He entered a room where the 3 Justice Gang members were waiting and asked him if the message was true. Superman said no, explaining that the message was only half true. His parents had indeed sent him a message, but they hadn't told him to conquer Earth. He realized Luthor was trying to destroy his reputation. He wondered how Luthor got the message since his house was in the Arctic. At the same time, we saw Bouravian General enter a portal and meet with Luthor, revealing their alliance. Superman arrived back at his house to find his robots badly damaged. They told him someone had intruded. Superman asked about Krypto, but they didn't know where he was. Superman flew to Luthor, confronting him about breaking into his home and asking where his dog was. Luthor denied knowing anything about a dog or going to Superman's house, while his friend live-streamed the encounter. Superman's reputation worsened further, and people began to think he was crazy. Worried, Superman went to Lois and told her his dog was lost and that the entire city had turned against him. He said he felt like he wasn't made for all this. Lois consoled him, saying everyone loved him and she believed the message was fake. He told her the police had issued a warrant for him and he had to turn himself in. Lois warned him they would arrest him, and he wouldn't be able to find his dog, but Superman went to the police anyway and was arrested. It was revealed that Luthor had government ties, so the government handed Superman over to him. Luthor took Superman to a portal, which he called his pocket universe. He had a superhuman named Rex there, and told Superman he brought him something special. Rex could create anything he wanted and created kryptonite, which immediately weakened Superman. Superman was then locked in a box inside the pocket universe. It was then revealed that Krypto was also in the same place. Rex, who was working for Luthor, was doing so because Luthor was holding his child hostage. Meanwhile, Lois and Jimmy found important information. Luthor and the President had a secret weapons deal. However, they lacked solid proof. Lois said she needed to find Superman. Jimmy discovered through a source that Superman was in the pocket universe, a place they knew nothing about. Lois decided to investigate further on her own. Jimmy went to meet his source, who turned out to be Luthor's girlfriend Eve. She wanted to leave Luthor and be with him, but he told her to stay a few more days to gather information. Lois went to the Justice Gang and asked for help to free Superman, but they refused to interfere in government matters. However, Terrific told her that Superman's footprints were found at a location, but then disappeared. Terrific said he would help her find Superman. He took her in his spaceship to the portal's location. The same local boy who had helped Superman earlier was brought to the pocket universe. Luthor threatened to shoot him unless Superman revealed who he was and why he was sent to Earth. Superman insisted he only came to save humanity, but Luthor didn't believe him and shot the boy. Superman was devastated that an innocent person was killed because of him. When Terrific and Lois arrived, they were attacked by many metahumans. Terrific created a shield around Lois and fought them with his small robots. He killed many robots, humans, and Ultraman, working with incredible speed like a killing machine. He and Lois entered the portal. It was revealed that Luthor had created a device that allowed people to travel from one place to another. Superman was still trapped in a box. He told Rex that if he wanted to save his son, he had to help him. Superman, out of energy, needed the sun to regain his powers and save both Rex's son and Krypto. Rex used his powers to create a sun, and as it shone brightly, Superman regained his strength. He broke out of the box and saved Rex's child and his dog. Terrific had left 2 small robots with cameras to search for Superman. The robots found him and told him to follow them. As the portal was about to close, Terrific got them all out and they escaped the pocket universe. Luthor, realizing something was wrong, became angry at his partner and threw her out. The girl, in a fit of rage, sent selfies to Jimmy, who was confused by them. Superman was still injured, so Lois took him to his parents. Jimmy sent the selfies to Lois, who noticed that documents and maps were visible in the background. She realized Jimmy's friend was smart and that they now had proof. They just needed to expose Luthor. By morning, Superman had recovered. He was sad, telling his dad he wasn't made for this world and couldn't save it. His dad encouraged him and gave him strength. His mother then told them to watch TV. On the news, it was reported that Bouravian soldiers were about to attack the people of Jarhanpur. Superman knew he had to save them, but then Luthor did something unexpected. He began to split the Earth in two with his portal. Terrific saw this and told Superman to come immediately. Superman was torn between saving the people of Jarhanpur and the Earth. Jimmy and Lois learned at their office that the president was secretly collaborating with Luthor to attack Jarhanpur and use their land for weapons. They prepared a report. As the Earth cracked, they had to escape on Terrific's ship, which Lois was flying. Many buildings were falling, and Luthor flew his office into the air. A woman got stuck in traffic, and Superman, our hero, arrived to save her. Engineer and Hammer came to stop him. They attacked both Superman and Terrific's ship. Engineer implanted nanites into Superman's body, and he couldn't remove them. To save himself, Superman flew higher into the sky, but Engineer and Hammer clung to him. He continued to fly higher and then came back down, throwing them both to the ground. They survived, and the nanites came out of Superman. Hammer then took off his mask, revealing that he was a Superman clone created by Luthor. The clone learned of Luthor's plan to imprison the real Superman and release the clone. Luthor from his office activated and controlled the clone, who had all of Superman's powers. The clone attacked the real Superman, who seemed weak in comparison. Meanwhile, the Bouravian police started killing people. Green Lantern and Hawkgirl arrived to protect them. Rex also came to help. Hawkgirl confronted the president, who called her a superwoman, but she denied it. She then took him to a high altitude and threw him down, killing him. The real Superman was still fighting the clone. He whistled and Krypto arrived and attacked the clone. Luthor was controlling the clone with robots, but Krypto chewed them up and Luthor lost control. Superman then pushed the clone into a black hole, killing it. Superman and his dog were safe. Luthor, realizing he was about to be caught, tried to escape through a portal, but Superman stopped him. Lois and her team published all the evidence they had collected. News channels reported that Luthor had been defaming Superman for his own benefit and that he should apologize. Luthor refused and Krypto attacked him. Terrific used Luthor's computer to close the portal, and the Earth that was splitting began to join back together. Everyone was happy and the board members arrested Luthor. Jimmy's friend came to him and asked him to stay with her. Lois approached Superman, saying she wanted to interview him. They went inside and became very close. Afterwards, Superman returned to his house, solitaire, and talked with his robots. He watched old videos of his parents and seeing them happy made him happy too. And showing this story ends here. Appreciate a subscribe and please remember to like. Thanks for watching.